we doing? I was like about to come on here maybe like 4 or 5 minutes earlier, but mom. But I had some breaking news that So Steph sent me, so I had to get it. I had to get it loaded and ready for you guys to see, so that we could talk about it, girl. What is going on with this show? What is going on with this show? So we're first going to just talk about what the breaking news that So Steph sent me, and I'll just give my opinion on it, and then we'll get into the reunion, and then we may take a little detour and talk about the sad, pathetic colorism moment, because that's what it was that happened on this episode. Like, why even bother? Anyway, let's get into it. Come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, we got so much to talk about. So come on in the room. Thank you, So Steph. Come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, the Jesus is my doctor. You better come on in the room. Come on. Oh, child. I forgot. I can't find my strawberry pound cake, so it's a champagne toast kind of day. Ooh, sprayed y'all. It's a champagne toast kind of day.
That song is so old.
It is. I love it. I love it. Come on in the room. Whoa, come on.
Yeah.
We got so much to. I'm gonna learn the rest of the words because all I know is because Jesus is my doctor. Oh, I got my Dr. Till's body oil, moisturizing body oil for the elbows because I'm dark. Let me tell you something. One thing about being dark skinned, you have to keep, aside from keeping your head on swivel, because people will try you, you have got to keep your elbows and feet moisturized. Why? Because you will always be read about these in the feet for some reason. For some reason, ashy elbows on a dark-skinned person just walks up the back of a black elder. They do not play with that. So make sure I'm nice and moisturized, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching. How are we doing, Star Fam? How are we doing? Let's check in first before we get into the review. Tia, what is going on? What is going on? Like, at this point, Andy, don't fire Robin. Because Cameron's going to have a field day. We got to keep her on. Hey, Dorothy. Dorothy said, let's get this party started. Hey, Nikki and family. Hey, Dorothy. How are you doing? Hey, Dr. M. Hey, Robin. Robin said, hey, Star family. Hey, Nikki, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the reunion. Woo, child, it was a lot. And you know what? Season 3 seems like it's going to be a lot. So this is the one show or the one season where I feel like, you know what? A 3-part reunion was necessary. I never really think a 3-part reunion is necessary for any of these shows, but baby, for this season, yeah, it was good that we did that. Hey, Drewski. Hey, Basola, how are you, sweetie? Mademoiselle said it was trash. Yeah, I get what Andy was trying to do, but it was like it just wasn't his place to do it. Yeah, it just wasn't his place to do it. I see the effort. You know, he said all the right things. It just wasn't his place. That wasn't the platform. And if you're going, oh, you didn't see part 2 of the reunion, girl, you gotta watch it. It was good.
Girl, I'm at the live.
Missy said Karen is not getting any time at the reunion. She's not. They're holding her for part 3. However, if she's only going boring, if that's all that she's going to do at the reunion, why is she the first seat? For some reason, Beverly Hills and Potomac does this all the time. For some reason, they give the queens of the show, I guess, these two seats next to Andy, no matter if they have a storyline or not. Karen should not have been next to Andy. Giselle should not have been next to Andy. If anything, if you're going to put Giselle next to Andy, then put Candace right there as well, because they had a beef. If you're not going to do that, make it Robin and Wendy, right? Or Wendy and Mia. Like, don't put them there just out of seniority. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Hey, Simply Simone. Simone, I'm just now seeing your videos from when you were in LA. Thanks for letting me know. Because I was looking at one of your videos and I was about to read you, but I saw that the video on TikTok, I saw that the video was like 2 weeks ago or something. I don't know why I always see your videos 2 weeks late. I don't know why. And I also saw that you did a TikTok and you was just like, people are saying happy birthday to me, but that was a long time ago. Again, I guess for some reason, I think a lot of your followers are seeing your stuff late for some reason. I don't know why. Hey, Manti, how are you? What's up, Tia Pia? Hey, Alex. Hey, Lady Virgo. Hey, Missy. So yeah, they look beautiful. They ate on this one. I told you, this cast photo reminded me of, I don't know what season it was, but it was the Real Housewives of Atlanta where they did the all black. That, I don't think that I've seen a better cast photo. Dubai was good, but for me, that Atlanta all black, iconic. Hey, so Steph, we in here. Hey, Bianca. Hey, Roselle. Say, got my mint tea and ready for this live. Oh, thank you for being here. Hey, Visual Taste. How are you? Hey, Shanice. How are you? Hey, Sierra. Hey, Lisa. Hey, NC. Said, hey, y'all, so many mixed emotions and thoughts from last night. Last night was an emotional roller coaster. I will give them that. Hey, Indigo. Hey, Mama Star is in the chat. Hey, Dwayne. Shanice said, oops, is it about Juan? I hope at this point, I feel like he's doing it on purpose. If this is the truth, I feel like he's doing this on purpose. Slippy Simone said, Potomac might have to hit its Atlanta flop era, I fear. They got to get back to the fun. That's what they're missing. They're missing the fun. And not unfortunately, the person who took the fun out of this season, two people, Mia and Giselle. They took the fun out of this season. I felt like all the other ladies were ready to have a good time. Giselle and Mia brought the season down. They brought the season down. I saw that trailer. They released a better one at BravoCon. This trailer wasn't that great. The BravoCon one was a lot better. I've been excited for that. I also do not believe that Candace and Portia are having any beef. I think that clip where Candace is saying, "Oh, you took somebody's husband," that was overproduced. It didn't look like Candace was reading, right? It just looked like it was an overly produced line read, in my opinion. I think it's going to be really good. I think the person who's going to be the problem is Leah. It's going to be Leah McSweeney. Andy, I told you about Leah. You don't even want to listen. I told you about Leah. That's my adult sip. Like, this is the closest thing I'll get to perfume. This is the closest. For some reason, I just cannot find a perfume that works for me. Oh, you know what? I don't think I ever smelled Pearberry. Is it still in production? If not, is it at the outlets? Because I have an outlet up here that I go to. I got to go up there and get my Crocs. Ciao. You can't find strawberry shortcake? Not even online? I'm telling you, whatever you cannot find online at Bath & Body Works, it's at their outlet. Just go to the outlet. Mom, come on in the room. It's not depressing. Yes, the Star family loves it. Hey, Chanel said, I do think Andy called the ladies out, though, better than the past. Yeah, I think so. I think he did too. Hey, Joe. How are you, boo? Thank you for being here. I always do this. Because I want to say E for me. E for me. E for empathy. I think I'm right. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Star fam. This reunion has been lit. I haven't talked to my TV this much in a while. I was also texting my auntie. We are both mad. Yeah, I was in a lot of group chats about this one. Is it naive or naive? Is this naive or naive? Hey, Evian said Karen has been boring. She has. She has. The only time Karen lit up for me this season was when she was dragging Robin. Lady Virgo said, I would have greatly appreciated them getting extra time to the colorism topic with a moderator instead of Robin. Absolutely agree. Sierra said, I wonder if she's the first seat because she switched with Candace. Karen would have been next to Robin, and Karen and Robin have beef. I don't think it's that simple. I think they think these seating charts out. And I think they just do for Potomac and Beverly Hills. It's seniority, and that needs to stop. I know. I checked the date, and I was like, "Oh, let me delete my comment." Hey, Danny. Danny said the colorism part was not it. I was irritated by Giselle and Robin being willfully obtuse. You know, Alabaster's going Alabaster. Dr. M said, shout out to Simply Simone because I haven't binged your TikTok videos today. I love her TikTok. Drewski said, Andy put Karen first as a buffer. Oh, between Karen and Giselle. Okay. Okay. You know what? I think we are. I think we are, Tia. I think we are. We'll wait a minute and see who show up, but I think we may be. Ciao. Miss GG88, I did do the slate, so it's not the moderators, it's me. Miss GG88 said, hey, Nikki, I didn't watch one episode this season, but I'm here for the vibes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Hey, Miss Brown Sugar. How are you? Hey, Spency. Spency said, hi, NikkiStar and fam. I don't even watch the show, but I saw Twitter was going in on the colorist convo. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Ciao. Oh, Tracy's here. Hey, Tracy. Tracy said, hey, Star fam, please like the best live reviews on YouTube. Thank you, Tracy. Hey, Samantha. Samantha said, I wish the colorist convo was more in depth. It was a bit lackluster, in my opinion. They would have benefited from a professional moderator. Agreed. Agreed. Let me get Dahlia NC and then we'll get into it. Dahlia said, Karen gave us nothing but unblended bronzer and pursed lips. I'm gonna need Karen to get activated. She said on her YouTube channel that she's going after Robin. She put that out there. She said, I'm going after her next season. So
Say that,
Karen on her YouTube. She said she's going after her. NC said, Giselle pointing her finger at Wendy. We will talk about it. May my blood boil. Not to mention the fact that she never looked her in her eyes and kept referring to Wendy as her. Very dehumanizing. On it. Absolutely right, NC. Dehumanizing. Dehumanizing. Vaca said, I heard... Yeah, Vaca with 3 olives said, I heard everyone got a contract for next season. Perhaps minus one person. If one person isn't coming back, it's probably me or Robin. But I'm like, Robin has a storyline this season. And if it's going to be Robin versus Karen, that's going to be a good one. Alicia said, Giselle saying out loud she doesn't like Wendy is the only honest thing she ever said. True. Pink Petal said, I've been enjoying The Real Housewives of New Jersey. It's an easy watch. It is. The family feud is getting on my nerves, though. I got to be honest with you. The family feud and Frank, I'm tired. We got to wrap them up.
Yeah,
anyway.
Is they ever going to make up?
Probably not. Not as long as they're on the show. Anyway, let's get into this hot tea that So Seth sent me. And of course, it's from, forgot his name again, Giorgio. Giorgio Says. It's from Giorgio Says. Here we go.
You guys are so lucky Juan Dixon is not here right now. Okay? We don't need to wait for Robin to try to clarify any of this because I already got the clarifications. I'm going to explain to you what you're about to see. Shout out to Bravo and Cocktails for getting this photo and for also blocking this woman's face out. But it says spotted hugging arms around each other in a laundromat last Monday. When Copen State University played NSU in Virginia, this woman is the director of athletics at Copen State University. Now, you guys, there's an explanation, and it is similar to the one about the hotel room. Listen, this woman lost her wallet. She needed to get her laundry done, and Juan was just there helping to facilitate that so that she could get her laundry done, and it was just a nice gesture. Let's not blow this up.
He was clearly kidding at the end. So, so Juan allegedly, because I didn't see any pictures of that. Everybody's talking about that Juan is cheating again. But I didn't see anything of him hugging up with that woman. It looked like she was leaning in and they were looking at something on the phone. And if that's his coworker, then it wouldn't be like, weird for them to be in some kind of, close proximity to each other. But I wanted to talk about it because if this is true, right? If listen, they could be watching the teams.
The school don't have no washer and dryer.
I don't know, but if this is true, if the hugging and kissing, if that alleged hugging and kissing, if it is true, and he's like being very open about it, it's either two things: one, they either have an open marriage, or two, he doesn't care anymore, right? Like, I think if this is true and they don't have an open marriage, he's gotten to the point where he's just being reckless for Robin to do something. And you might not like the woman, but this is just unfortunate, and it's just very sad for her and for their family. If that is the case, this is all alleged.
It's true. I don't think it's
You don't
true.
think
They
it's true?
Got married, and he has 2 sons by her, and he loves those kids. And I don't believe that he would just blatantly do that and bring harm and hurt to her, because if you remember before, we didn't know why she would sleep all the time.
Yeah, now we know.
But apparently, it was because of this situation.
Yeah.
It really took a toll on all of them.
Yeah.
And, I just don't believe it at this point.
That he would be so reckless, right? Yeah.
I feel like if he didn't want her, he should have just said that, and maybe they should have done something different. I don't believe it.
Okay.
I don't believe it. She's on television. He's gotten caught before, so they're going. It's a lot of mess.
This is why I agree with you, because
he loves his son.
I just don't think he would be that reckless after everything that has come out about him cheating on Robin, and then she's going to have this whole, like, half of the part 3 of the reunion is going to be about his affair. I don't think he would be this sloppy or reckless. It could just be very innocent, 2 co-workers cleaning their team uniforms in a laundromat while the team is probably playing, another school. It's probably a road trip. I mean, that would make sense. I just don't think he would be that reckless.
Media is looking for everything.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They look for things after they found something already. They're always going to be watching him. And
that's the thing. Like, I don't think he would make a move like that if everybody is watching him.
I don't believe it at this point. They got to give me a little bit more.
Yeah. I need video because it says in the clip that Giorgio says from, I think, Brawls and Cocktails, it says that they were hugged up with each other and kissing. And I'm like, oh, I got to see it. What do you guys think? Baca said Juan is getting to that Lenny level soon. Oh, you think so? Lenny from the Real Housewives of Miami? I hope not. Lenny is absolutely awful to Lisa and his children. Robin better prepare so she is not like Lisa, falling out and fighting with the woman in the club. Well, it seems like Robin is already prepared. It seems like she's already prepared. There's no prenup, but it seems like she's already, if something should happen, I think she has protected herself, because I think Robin comes off like a dumb blonde on camera, but I think she's very smart. I also feel like she played this season out, and this revelation about Juan, I think she played it very smart to the T. I do believe that she most certainly did this to get removed this season while Juan handles this case concerning his student and an employee. Because if she is on this season while that is happening, there's no way that is not going to come up. And I think she'd much rather have people talk about her and lie about her than lie about Juan, who she is madly in love with. So this just seems very calculated to me. So I don't see her going through the same thing as Lisa. I could be wrong. I see her
wrong. Keeping up her podcast.
Yeah.
Because that would be where she.
Yeah.
I think she want to get off this season too, and let them call her back.
Yeah, let them, let them maybe come back as friend of the show, then say I have a storyline. Just sit this season out while he deals with his things. Dr. M said, did y'all hear about Michael Darby and the Somalia thing? I absolutely did. I'm absolutely not surprised.
What?
So allegedly, Mike, did he have a hotel? He had a hotel, something like.
Alleged.
Basically, he was a part of some of the people who were involved in the war in Somalia. It's like I'm piecing it together, but he was basically a part of the people who basically left that place in financial ruin. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Now that I'm saying it, let me just allegedly. Well, let me just get it all together. Oh, child, as soon as you talk up his name, Michael Darby, Somalia. Real Housewives of Potomac, Ashley Darby's estranged husband, Michael Darby, is reportedly the largest owner of land in Somalia. Real Housewives of Potomac viewers are still trying to figure out how much money Michael Darby has. His estranged wife Ashley moves forward with their divorce, according to reports. Michael's money is widespread across multiple countries. Now, old reports report that Michael's investments in Somalia are resurfacing and sparking controversy. Recent reports about Michael's real estate portfolio have resurfaced. Kempire shared a TikTok and YouTube video in which he explained Michael's connections to Somalia. While many real estate investors own property international, there are many concerns about Michael's investments in land in Somalia, which Kempire says cannot be discussed on social media, but hints to there being issues with local investors who are not from the country and social issues occurring in the country. Michael being a white investor in an African country is also concerning for some. Per the Washington Post, Michael owns land in Mogadishu, Somalia. After divorcing his wife over 20 years, Michael jumped into high speed into setting the next phase of his life. He met Ashley and pursued her. Additionally, he expanded his investments in the real estate industry. The first step after divorce was to heavily invest in the ultimate emerging real estate market, Mogadishu, Somalia, where he built a 44-acre compound near the airport site of the film Black Hawk Down, making him one of the Civil War-stricken country's largest real estate owners.
Wow.
They said he was an overseer. They said he was an overseer, child.
Be able to give her some money.
I think she got some money. I think she absolutely got some money.
Oh, okay.
I think Ashley is fine. I think Ashley is fine. I think she's playing up for the show. I also don't think that she'll actually divorce him. I think if she's still married to him next season, she'll say that Michael is dragging this divorce on or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. Tracy said Juan said he didn't want her. Was that season 4? Yes, but I believe that he said he was tired of living like this. And I think he was just saying that he was living a life for the show. And he just was unhappy. He said he was unhappy. I don't go to Citadel. I go to the one farther up north. I can't remember the name. What's the outlet we go to? It begins with a C.
Can't remember either.
Camarillo. That's my girl. Citadel. I can't do Citadel.
Well, we've been here.
Desiree says she is director of athletics. That would be his boss. Yeah, this could just be two co-workers washing the uniforms of their players. That's what I think it is. Dahlia said,
and if Juan don't want Robin, I'm still available.
Mom,
I'm still on the market.
She loves Juan from the Real Housewives of Potomac and Michael from Love at the Lockup. Michael can do no wrong. Dahlia said, he was reckless enough to cheat on a woman who's filmed on a nationally broadcast reality TV show. So yeah, I just don't believe it. Breezy said, I think Juan does what he wants because he knows he'll get away with it and won't even have to explain himself. The bus runs over Robin, not him. Miss Brown Sugar said, to be fair, word is Coppin State doesn't have sufficient laundry services for their team gear. A while ago, Robin said Juan often brings their uniforms home to wash. And that's about the only nice thing. I think that's what's happening. I really, really do, guys. Drewski said, let us not forget the hot mic moment of him saying he didn't even want to be with Robin and was only there for the kids. Once this trial is over, I think he might split yet again. I think if they do split, it'll probably be when the kids go off to college or move out. A lot of people do that. A lot of people are in marriages and they're just unhappy with the coupling, but they don't want to traumatize their young children. They wait for them to get older to traumatize them. Miss Brown Sugar said, innocent or not, at this point, Juan being extra cautious, not being extra cautious is disrespectful. I get it. Anne Marie said, I think Juan is looking for a payback after Robin lost all his money. Could she have been potentially sleeping with the friend who stole all their money? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, we have established that he has a sore spot for her over that. Poor Shekela said, from what's being said, Candace was outvoted to have a moderator come in. Wow. Talk with Diana said. Diana said, you give Robin too much credit. I'm trying to be partial here. And Yarden said, it's 3 a.m. in the Netherlands, so I'll be back later as the replay game. Have fun, y'all. Okay, and Yarden, thank you for joining us. Miss Brown Sugar said, yes, our little sis had her baby. Our little sis had her baby. I'm so happy for her. So Steph said, this isn't alleged. He's the majority landowner. He's the majority landowner in Somalia. Oh, he got money. He got money. Manti said, is it smart though? She's not interested enough to be assured that she will be asked to return, especially because she won't discuss Juan. If they do bring her back, they're probably going to bring her back because Cameron is going to be on her neck. Now that I think about it, I feel like he absolutely gave Robin and Juan money. I feel like Michael.
Me too.
Like it has always been like this sixth sense in my spirit where I feel like a lot of money was exchanged because I just do not see a black male, a black millennial male being okay with a man saying that his dream is to suck his penis and still rocking with him. Like, I just don't see that.
Like, punched him out or
nothing.
Like,
say, hey man, don't be especially, you know what I mean? Like, you an American, where he from? Baltimore? Like,
and Robin really didn't say anything.
He gave them some money.
Yeah,
he gave them some money, allegedly.
Juan was protective over him too.
I am. I'm actually going to react to both because I want to talk about how I didn't like how Zach treated Greer. So I'm going to do that tomorrow along with Love at the Lockup. Miss Brown Sugar said, never forget there's always some dirty dealings to get rich and powerful, to be rich and or powerful. Absolutely.
Always.
Ciao. JP said, Michael is allegedly a war dog. He establishes countries, then purchases the land dirt cheap. He then owns a supply. Ciao. Effie said, I think it's time for Giselle to exit the show because she's the root of the toxicity, mean girl behavior, gaslighting, colorism, deflection, and lies. Trust me, the show will survive and thrive without her.
Oh, they're not going to get rid of her because they feel like
she's messy. She's messy.
That.
I said 44 acres makes you the largest landowner. That doesn't seem like a lot. I'll wait for the rest of the story. I said, Ashley got nothing but them kids because if she wanted them, they be cussing out Ashley. The Star family do not do her. Hey, Marvina.
I don't do her.
Let me get 2 more and then we'll get into the review. Lady Virgo said, I've always thought that Michael gave Juan money. Juan is just too cool with him, right? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. Hey, Sade! It's Sade's first live! Yay! Welcome! Nabek said, I wish there was a Kenya type on this show. Kenya would have kept her heels on Robin's neck. True about that. Naya said, Nikki, have you watched The Perfect Match on Netflix? No, but I have to because I heard some stuff about Bartiste. Gossip and Grigio said, hey, Nikki, I want to break from work, so can't stay long. But why is Gollum colonizing Somalia? Colonizer gonna colonize. Colonizer gonna colonize. Anyway, let's get into this review. I love how Candace did not let up on Giselle this entire reunion.
Me too.
She did not let up on Giselle. Every time Giselle tried to move on, she was like, she called her out. She called her out. She read her from the rooter to the tutor. She read her down, and I was happy. I was happy that she was finally seeing how vindictive this woman is and has been to her for seasons. 4 seasons. And I was so happy that she would not let up. She would not let Giselle get out of this, because what Giselle did was, let's be honest, just evil. It was just evil, because I told you guys in the beginning, the episode 1, go back and watch my first live from the first episode of this season. I said, this woman is going to get to the reunion and start apologizing and start saying that that she didn't say what she said, when she realizes how the fan base takes in the information that she's trying to put out about this man. And she did just that. All of a sudden, what she said, she didn't say. She said it another way, or she meant it some other way. So it went from I was uncomfortable with being with Chris in the room by myself because of the things that he was doing, to I was uncomfortable being in a room alone with a married man. Okay, so what was all the other stuff that you were saying about him? How he's a sneaky link and all of that stuff. So what was that? She doesn't explain it. She apologizes for it. But you said it on camera, coupled with he made you feel uncomfortable. So that meant that he tried to do something to you, or he was giving you the inkling that he was going to do something. This is why I always say, we have to have the colorism conversation, because if we don't have the colorism conversation and deal with this, stuff like this will continue to happen. And the stuff like this, I mean, is light-skinned women just being light-skinned, thinking that they're the bee's knees and that every man wants them. Is Giselle gorgeous? Absolutely. So is Candace. Right? But a woman like Giselle, a light-skinned woman like Giselle, thinks that every man wants her. So her mind is, I'm in the room, but you know what I'm saying, mama. I'm in a room alone with this man. I'm light, I'm pretty. I know he's going to try to do something because he married to that undesirable. So I feel uncomfortable because I know he's going to try to do something to me because he a sneaky link. Then you get to the reunion. Oh, I shouldn't have said it. No, I didn't mean it. Don't apologize, because you meant that. You meant that. And you meant to put it out there that he was being inappropriate with you in that room. But what you did not expect was for the fan base, of viewers to be like, absolutely not. Not today, Satan. Not today, Neck. Absolutely not. So now you want to backtrack and act like it's lighthearted, and then get dumb Mia in on it to be like, can we just agree that it is wrong for a married man to be in a room with a single woman? Ain't nothing real about this woman. We don't even know if that's her name. All she do is lie. And she said all that for Candace to say, girl, shut up. Shut up. This woman tried to make my husband out to be a Harvey Weinstein, some predator. That's what she did. That's what she did, because she did not have anything going on. And she had a great storyline. Giselle had a great storyline talking. She could have made her storyline about her hysterectomy, but she just, for some reason, does not want to be vulnerable. So she decided to spend her time, her storyline this season, she decided to make it about Chris being a predator, and then tried to backtrack it when everybody wasn't on board.
Right.
Child, mama, can you turn down the heat? My hair is lifted. Oh. Girl. Anyway, I said all that to say, I love that Candace did not let her get out of that. I love that Candace did not let her get out of that, because what Giselle did to Chris and Candace was absolutely evil. To put something like that on this kind of platform and knowing that it's something that you just made up and you think you could walk out of that? Absolutely not.
No,
hold her feet to the
she
fire.
Was with Juan Dixon by herself in the house.
Huh?
She was with Juan by herself when they met about the ring and all of that. She was with Juan.
Why they make you feel uncomfortable? Because she's probably not his type. Truth be told, he loves something chocolate, but I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on.
That she's not his type.
Word on the street. Anyway, let me I
That's
felt like Karen.
He's not her type or his type. The fact of the matter is you were alone with him. Mm-hmm. And how come you didn't feel away with him?
Because Robin is her friend.
Maybe she got a little.
Okay, let's move on.
Because one ain't bad on ours. That's all I got to say. You ain't heard it.
Oh, he's not. He's the second. Is he the second finest housewife? Not housewife. House husband. Yeah. For me, it's only two of them, and I can't remember the other one's name. It's Juan Dixon, and he was on. His wife was on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for one season. He was best friends with OJ. Him. Finest husbands ever in the whole franchise. Ain't nobody coming close to them, especially no Juan Dixon. He absolutely number one. We're not gonna sit here and lie. We might not like what he do, but that man is fine. Anyway,
that man is fine.
I
think that's a fine black man.
Okay, let's calm down. Every time Candace, he do. He knew his whole life. That fake smile, that side little smile.
Oh God. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Mr.
Candace, Robin is not your friend. And every time you say that Robin is your friend or loyal to you, an angel gets a black eye by St. Peter. Every time. So I want you to think about every time you call Robin a friend, every time you say that she's loyal, every time you call her sis, an angel is getting a black eye. That's on you. That's on you. Are you happy with that? Sit with it for a moment and think. You gotta think. Anyway, so in this reunion, Candace says that Robin is her friend, and I'm so glad that Wendy was like, is this your friend? Is this your friend? Shout out to TikTok. I'm addicted to that thing at this point. But Wendy was just like, you call her your friend, right? You say that she's loyal. And then right after that, she exposes you at the dinner table in front of people that don't like you. But that's your friend. Let her know, Wendy. Let her know, Wendy. Because for some reason, and Candace, I have had this argument with you since season 1. For some reason, you try to hold on to this idea that Robin and Giselle are your friends. You figured out now. That Giselle isn't your friend. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I'm glad that she came after your heart. And who is your heart? Your husband. Because she's been coming after you for seasons. And you always get on the reunion and cry and talk about how she's your friend or your big sister, something like that. But this season, you couldn't do it because she came after your heart. She came after your heart, and you were able to finally see that woman for who she is. I don't know what it's going to take for you to see who Robin is, but my God, today, girl, I hope it's not something else with that man, because I don't know how much Chris can take. Because word on the street is this made him lose out on jobs. And listen, the way y'all told me how expensive Potomac is, he needs a coin. Anyway, let's move on. The Robinettes. It was just the one moment that Karen spoke, and Andy was just like, if Robin had a girl group and it was called the Robinettes, what would their theme be? Karen, who said nothing the whole time. Boring. And Robin just takes it. Andy, you got to let Robin come back. Because if Karen is going to be on her neck, it's going to be iconic. Because for some reason, Guys, I don't know. We have talked about this. For some reason, Karen does not let up on Robin. I saw a clip on Twitter, and I'm telling you, tears when she was talking to Robin. It was, I don't know what season it was. It probably was last season, but she was just like, yeah, I'm preparing for a real wedding with a real husband and a real relationship. You don't know what that is. Like, she just stays on Robin's neck for some reason. And Robin just takes it. Robin just takes it. Like Andy, just let her come back for this season. Just this season. So we can see Karen let loose. Alrighty. Giselle. Let's stay on her for a second. Let me get up this Taryn dress. This Taryn terrible dress. Where is it? So Robin. I'm sorry, I meant Giselle. So Giselle, right? She was having a vulnerable moment when she was talking about having her hysterectomy and how her hysterectomy went on a lot longer than anticipated. Who bedazzled this dress? My God, today. Y'all know I love a bedazzling, but yikes. Anyway, so she was having a moment, right? And she was getting caught up and she was about to cry because what made her get emotional was her talking about her daughters and how her daughters were very concerned because, she told them that the surgery would take this amount of time and then it took longer and she had to stay overnight. So the girls are very concerned and she was just like, they were just concerned that, I wouldn't wake up. And she was having this moment and she was about to cry and she looked at Andy and she was just like, can we move on? And Andy was like, no, we're going to stay right here. He's sick of her. He said, no, we're going to stay right here. To Giselle and made the camera get a close-up, okay? Because she doesn't give us these moments. And this could have been her the entire season. And we would have ate it up and people would have forgotten about how evil she has been to the ladies with husbands, the dark ladies with husbands on this show, right? People would have forgot that and moved on. And this would have been her redemption season. But instead, she chose this awful storyline to go after. But I like the fact that Andy stayed there, right? Because for some reason, I don't know why Giselle just does not want to be real or vulnerable on this show. Like, she does not like to show emotion. She's very like, I'm fine. Everything is okay. Like, there are no issues. Like, even when she's talking about heartbreak on the show, when she's talking about how, that pastor, what's his name? The one that wear all them flowers and colors. He got a weed dispensary now. Jamal Bryant. When she talks about him and how he basically broke her heart and embarrassed her, it's very like, well, he did that, but Jamal's Jamal, and it's okay. I moved on. I forgiven him. You know what I mean? Like, she's just very nonchalant. And I was just like, what is going on that you just have no reaction to anything? And I realized she does have reactions to things. She just closes that off and puts on this persona or character who is probably a part of who she is for the show. So when she shows up to work, she's putting on her work voice and her work face. She's not allowing us to see who she really is. And I think after the season,
talked about that.
What did she say?
When they had got with her about Jamal, when the women had got with her, she was saying that was just safe for her. To put up a wall. She has been doing that for all of her life. To just cut it off, put off the wall, and don't deal with it.
Well, it will benefit her after the season she has had to let that wall down and be vulnerable with the viewers, because you got to win us back. Well, you got to win people back, because I feel like the people, Giselle, who are even in your corner can't rock with you. You know what I mean? So you have to win people back. So it will benefit you to let that wall down and be vulnerable and honest with the viewers so that you could win some kind of grace, because this is a terrible season and an even worse reunion for you. Another thing I want to talk about with Giselle, Andy would not let up on Andy and Candace would not let up on the fact that she put out this storyline that Chris was a predator. Chris was a predator, right? She changed it when she saw people's reactions to it. So she's coming on this reunion and she's absolutely gaslighting everybody. And Andy's just like, nah, that's what you're saying now, but you did not say that on the show. Like holding her feet to the fire. I thought he did a really good job, except for the colorism conversation. Aside from that, I thought that he did a really good job. So I think because Giselle was backed in a wall, she then says, well, I showed a lot of, my hysterectomy, what was going on with me leading up to my hysterectomy and how my children were dealing with that. Production chose not to show it. So that's on them because that's what I gave them. And when she said that, I was just like, you are about to have your downfall season. Here is why. I don't think it is not wise for any housewife to challenge production, right? That's why Kyle, you never see her say that. Kyle never says that production is doing this or production is doing that. She never comes after production because she knows that they got all of her tea. And when Giselle said that, I was just like, well, you about to have a season, mama, because now the gloves are off. Because you told us that production crafts this story for you and showed you in this kind of light, and they removed the very vulnerable and likable moments that you have. So it's production making you seem like this. This is not who you really are. And I'm telling you, they're going to take that as a challenge. This one show out of all the housewife shows, this is the messiest production and editing team. And my God, today you challenge the messiest editors, the messiest producers in all of the housewife franchise. You've challenged them, and they are going to show us everything and let us decide. You called this on yourself, mama. You called this on yourself. It would have been better for you to say, you know what? I made a mistake. Instead, you said, oh, production did this, not me. Well, you're about to have a very interesting season. Giselle is not dating that guy from Summer House. I'm not going to entertain it. I don't believe it. If he does show up on the season, it's a stunt. It's storyline. I do not believe it. Let's also talk about how Giselle treated Wendy. Evil. Absolutely evil. You cannot tell me that was not direct colorism, that this woman, the daughter of a civil rights legend, can't see that was colorism, right? The way she talked about Wendy was like she was garbage. And she did it the whole time, made a choice to not look in her eye and to not say her name. Every time anything was brought up about it could be anybody. They could be talking about Candace. They could be talking about Robin. Giselle will sit up and say, oh, I don't like her. And I'm like, why are you bringing Wendy into this? Because she says when she's talking to Andy about her hysterectomy procedure, right? Where she almost thought that she didn't make it out. Her kids thought the same thing. She was able to dig down deep in her evil and make that moment about her not liking Wendy. How? When in this moment, when you're being vulnerable, when you're telling us that you're scared that you would not have made it out, that you were scared because your children thought that you were not going to make it off of that operating table. How then do you say, I would share it, but I was around people that I don't like. If I were to share it, I'm not going to share about that procedure with her because I don't like her. Evil. Absolute. Because I was like, my spirit turned in that moment because I'm sitting here. This woman is being vulnerable, talking about something that actually happened to her. She's drawing me in. And then within a split second, she just shuts that down, changed course, and makes it about her not liking Wendy. Why? And Wendy, you took the part 1 and part 2 of this reunion like a champ until she couldn't take it anymore. But up until the moment she broke, She took that like a champ, because I would have been like, who's her? Who's her? Like, who are you talking to? Like, just completely disrespectful. Never looked in her direction or at her eye or in her eyes even once. Like she was vapor, like she didn't matter. Evil. Absolute. That woman did. Because I'm telling you, when she said it, I'm like, well, what happened with you and Wendy now? I'm going back throughout the season trying to figure out what their beef is, and I can't figure it out. Like, what was the reason? Absolutely evil. Mia, speaking of evil, Miss Remorseful on Twitter, deactivating her Twitter, deactivating her Instagram, then coming back with an apology. I should have done better. I'm a CEO. I should not have treated Wendy that way. Wendy didn't deserve it. Now you're on the reunion. You're giddy that you assaulted her. And then when Wendy is talking about being assaulted by you twice, because she was, twice, you speak over her and start to try to make it about her sleeping with Peter that nobody believed. Not even Giselle believed that. But what happened to the remorse? You were so sad, so remorse. I'm going to do better. Give me a chance, guys. I'll do better. But now you're sitting here giddy, laughing at the woman whose voice is breaking when she's talking about how you assaulted her and how she had to show restraint because of who she is. She didn't say this, but what she looks like as well. Because I hate the fact that because Candace and Wendy did not respond to the bullying and violence that was directed towards them this season, because they did not respond in the way that they should have, they responded in a way as somebody who was dark, right? Because when you're dark, you got to walk this world a certain way, because nobody protects you. So they had to respond in a way where people will finally be able to believe them. So that in that, they couldn't respond at all. They had to sit there and take it. So that the fan base, who would just naturally look at them as an aggressor because of the deepness of their melanin, can finally see what these women have been saying for seasons. I hate that for them. I hate that for them, but I understand that because I have to do it. A damn shame. A damn shame. But now, Mia, Miss Prison Pen Pal, because she hella violent, all of a sudden is no longer remorseful. I don't know what changed. I don't know what changed. I also don't know what changed with Robin, because now she went from, I don't care what happened to Wendy because I don't like her, to I was protecting Wendy's image. So that's why I was telling her to fight or not fight Mia. That don't make sense. Wendy was like, even without the unseen footage, none of what you said made sense, because you were still filming me. You were still grinning. You were still antagonizing the situation. You were not trying to protect me. And then, Robin, you even said in your confessional that the reason why you were defending Mia against Wendy is because you don't like Wendy. Because even the producer you were in the confessional with was just like, well, when it was Monique, you had a different stance. She was just like, oh, well, I feel that way about the situation with Wendy because I don't like Wendy. So how are you now at the reunion saying that you were doing that to protect her? This is the thing that blows my mind. I feel like these ladies don't think that we actually watched the show. Because if you didn't watch the show and you came to the reunion and just watched this reunion, you would have a totally different perspective, which is why I always say to the fans of this show who started watching season 5, baby, you got to watch from the beginning. You got to watch from the beginning, because the epiphany that you're now having in this season, right after you have picked your faves, the epiphany that you're now having this season, you would have never had it, right? Because if you watched this show from the beginning, you would have knew who everybody was. You would have known what you were walking into. You decided to stand a woman who assaulted another woman because a woman who she was intimidated by charged her up to do it. Right? So a lot of y'all came to this show because of that. So you were bloodthirsty for violence against Candace. Now you're in season 7 and you realize you were ridiculous for even having that stance in the first place. So now you're hella remorseful because I see the change. I see this change on Twitter. The same little housewife pages, all of a sudden the Team Candace, and I'm just like, wow. Wow. And you didn't even delete your old tweets. You should have watched from the beginning. You would have known what you were walking into. Instead, you're looking foolish. We tried to warn you. Anyway, let's get into Wendy, right? Because Wendy had to sit through Giselle this entire reunion so far, saying that she doesn't like her, not looking at her eye, not looking her in the eye. Robin gaslighting her, saying that she was trying to protect her when she was actually antagonizing her, and videotaping this scene for her own enjoyment. Then we also have to sit here and listen to Giselle and say that what Giselle did to Giselle say that what Monique did to Candace was absolutely wrong, but what Mia did to Wendy was right because she doesn't like Wendy. But what Mia did to Wendy was right because Giselle doesn't like Wendy. And in that moment, Wendy broke. Wendy broke because she was just like, I got to say something. It is killing me to sit here and watch these women justify harm against me, knowing that what happened to me was wrong, but try to justify it and make me seem crazy because they don't like me for whatever reason. She was just like, I've taken so much, but this right here is hard to sit through. And I'm telling you, I knew that she would have a moment like that. I thought that she would have it after the show, like when the reunion was wrapped up and she got in the arms of Eddie and they followed the cast backstage. I felt like she would have had it then. But to see her have it here in front of these women who don't care anything about her, who saw her, who heard her voice crack, who saw her tears. Mia smiled as she cried. Giselle, talked over her. Robin just stared through her soul. And the only person who was understanding was Candace. And I will give it to Karen as well, but to just feel so alone in that moment, knowing that they know that what happened to you was absolutely wrong, but because they don't like you, they're going, and you have to continue to work with these people. She's going into a hostile environment. But the check is good, so I understand. Let's I'm going to talk about the end of the reunion because we're going to end with the colorism conversation that never happened. So as we fast forward through colorism, Jacqueline comes out and, she just says that she didn't like how Mia treated her. And then she pulls out her Pandora's box and she's just like, well, I got a lot of receipts because a lot of things that she said on the show was not true, right? And from what I've seen of Jacqueline's sister, I mean, I guess that Jacqueline's sister isn't the Bravo brand, right? But I feel like she needed to be on this show, even if you zoomed her in, because a lot of the downfall or the fallout between Wendy and Mia, between Mia and Jacqueline, involves Jacqueline's sister. So we need to have her there to have this conversation because Mia is telling us that she's still cool with Jacqueline's parents, right? And that, this situation is a little tricky, but she still has a relationship with them. And I'm like, I can't fathom that, especially how the sister has been all over YouTube telling all of your business and calling you everything but a child of God. I know she's not the Bravo brand, but she's a huge part of the fallout of this friendship. And I think that she should have been on the show, if just for a moment, to explain what happened. And then we get to Wendy and Mia. Last, I think because there has been a huge demand for colorism on this show to be called out because they can't deny it. Like, you can't deny colorism. Like, to have the colorism conversation right after colorism was shown clear as day to the audience with this situation with Wendy. To then have that conversation and acknowledge, Andy, that you as a white man should not be leading this conversation. And then say, I reached out to the ladies and I asked them if they wanted a moderator. And they said no, right? You guys are saying that Candace said yes, but she was voted down. And then say, I am going to open up the floor to the ladies to talk about colorism. I, as a white person, am going to sit here and listen. Those words were great. This still should have not happened. Why? Because the dark people were gaslit. I could not believe that HBCU queens, right? All of them. I think except for Candace and maybe Mia, aren't they all in historically Black sororities? Tried to act like they didn't know what colorism was. So Candace had to start off with the definition of what colorism is. And she's like, are we all okay with that? I absolutely hated this, right? What I hated was the dark-skinned women, the women who actually experienced colorism, had to tap dance around this conversation, had to walk on eggshells, had to make sure that their alabaster castmates felt comfortable with the colorism conversation. I hated it. Absolutely hated it, because the only two people on that, I'll give it to Karen as well, only 3 people show grace to Candy and Wendy. Candace. I was like, Candy, to Candace and Wendy. And it was them two, each other, and the Grand Dame, who she gave a great explanation. I think she gets it. But Giselle and Robin were acting like they had no idea what Candace and Wendy were talking about. And I felt like Candace didn't want to upset anybody, but Wendy just knew that the conversation just was not going to go anywhere. So she didn't participate as much, because I'm like, Professor, what's going on? But after the conversation was had, I was just like, oh, I wouldn't have participated in this foolishness either. I wouldn't participate in Giselle. So what is it? What is this exactly? Your dark-skinned daughters are going to tell you what it is, right? Because you are essentially denying an experience that has happened and will continue to happen with your daughters the older they get, especially as they start to date. If they're not hearing it now, they'll hear it later in life. And they know who they can't come to talk about it, their mother. Why? Because you will gaslight them and you will break their hearts. So they're either going to talk to each other, or they're going to talk to somebody else who's motherly to them. They'll probably talk to Wendy. They'll probably talk to Candace, but they won't talk to you, because you have displayed, Giselle, that you don't know what colorism is, and you just found out and it doesn't exist. So why would they feel comfortable speaking to you about this? I also want to talk about a moment that made me sick to my stomach. It's not the fault of Candace. I knew what she was doing, and that made me sick to my stomach. Why? Because I've done it. I've done it to appease white people, non-Black people, especially light-skinned Black people in the within the Black community. When Ashley, bare minimum Barbie, said, I do acknowledge my privilege as a light-skinned woman in the Black community. Candace, thank you for acknowledging that, because just you acknowledging that is enough. The bar is in hell. Because why was that little gesture, right? Why was that so huge for her? And the reason why it was so huge is because not all, but enough where there's a freaking problem. Light-skinned Black people deny to dark-skinned Black people that we have a colorism issue within the community. So just to have a light-skinned person acknowledge that they have privilege and they see what is happening to darker-skinned folk, just that acknowledgement ignited so much emotion and relief in that woman, because we are constantly gaslit on a daily basis. That broke my heart, because I knew what that was. I hated it broke my heart, made me sick to my stomach. Then I was embarrassed because I've done that. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I didn't hate it. I'm not mad at Candace, but I'm just saying that moment just ignited so much emotion in me. And I understood why she did it, but it was just, ugh. It was my ick. I didn't like it. Here's what should have happened, right? And here's why, if it's true that a moderator was voted down, here's why I think it was voted down. Because Giselle, Robin, and Ashley, and Mia did not want to be held accountable. Because if you actually bring in somebody who deals with this topic of colorism, if you actually bring in somebody who deals with it, of course, they are going to be on the side of the oppressed, because that's just how it is, right? They're going to look through the lens, or probably be of the community of people who are oppressed, who are on the receiving end of colorism, and break it down and not give them a leg to stand on, or not stroke their alabaster egos. That's why it was voted down, if that is the case, because they would have looked foolish. They would have looked foolish, and they would have had to acknowledge that this show does have a colorism issue. Now, I'm not Candace, so I'm not going to sit here and say that the ladies on this show are not colorists. I think they absolutely are. I think even if they don't think they are, they are. I think Ashley might not think she is, but she is. And I feel like she's the only one who is not quite aware of what she's doing, right? But I think she is smart enough to know that she can cuss out Candace or lie on Candace, and everybody will believe her because Candace is dark and she has a white father. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil, right? But I also believe that she does not think that what she is doing is harmful. I think in Ashley's eyes, she's like, I may do my things, but I'm not Giselle. Because Giselle is absolutely a colorist. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's always the alabaster chicks that date the real dark dudes. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You know what you went after that blue black Negro because you knew he would treat you like a queen because he hated his own skin. Right? So broads like that, you already know what it is. You already know what you're doing. He's going to put you on a pedestal and make you feel special. He's going to tear down the darker women because the darker women look like him, but he hates himself. So you knew, especially going after men like that, you knew what it was going to be for you. I think Mia knows that. And I think Robin absolutely knows that. But Robin, in my opinion, she only plays in on the colorism when she is in the wrong, right? Robin to me is the epitome of a Karen. Oh, she is a Karen with a 3C curl, right? Karen with a perm. She's a Karen. She will play in on that colorism. She will do it. But I don't think that she is a daily colorist like Giselle. I think she taps into that privilege when it can benefit her, because she tapped into it all season concerning Wendy. But she won't do that with Candace because she has a friendship with Candace. But when she needs it to benefit her, when she needs people to believe that she's right and Wendy is wrong, even when she's dead wrong and everybody has the receipts, she's going to tap into that colorism and say, oh, she was being loud. She was being aggressive. Oh, she knows what she's doing. It's worked before, right? She's been doing this since she was a kid. She's been doing this since junior high, right? So she knows what to do, but she won't tap into it until she's backed in a wall. Giselle dibbles and dabbles in that on a daily basis. She takes them colorism pills like she takes vitamins. That's her thing. But I don't think that Robin does it until she's backed in a corner. Here's what should have happened. Andy should have removed himself from the stage, period. And I believe they should have brought in somebody. They either should have brought in somebody who teaches on this topic, or they should have brought in Ayanna Van Zandt. Why I say bring in Ayanna is because she will also talk about the topic, but she's good TV. So she would have entertained as well as taught, and we would have had a really great moment that was educational, but also entertaining. So everybody wins. Everybody wins. But instead we had this, and feel like it would have been better for them to not have it at all, because I think this colorism segment did more damage than helped. I don't think it helped at all. I've talked long enough. What do you guys think? Let's get into it. There's a lot of comments. Let's get into it. Dahlia said, Mia's less than smart. She's riding for a woman who just accused her of embezzlement. Mia and Giselle was going back and forth this reunion. Like, they would be on each other's side. Well, Mia would be on her side, and then Giselle would come for her, and then Mia would come back for Giselle, but then she would be right back on Giselle's side. Just confusion. That relationship is pure confusion. E for Empathy says, that's the thing, talking about Giselle and Chris. She made him out to be a predator and now suddenly can't understand the implications of her actions and words. Oh, she knows. She just wants to play dumb. She just wants to play dumb. Nacho putting Maurizio up in here. You know what? Eddie is a happy Eddie. He's a cute husband too. Eddie is top 5. Eddie is top 5. His skin and smile works for him. And the way he loves up on that Wendy works for him. He was Naya. Until he became Patricia.
You really want to say get off this show? You above?
True. Until Peter became, in the words of Alexander Rogers, Patricia Thomas Bailey. He was fine. I will give him that, especially back in the day. I will give him that. He makes beautiful kids too. Robin said, I love your mom. Her reactions have me cracking up. Mama Star is a mess. Mm-hmm. He could have brought that up, Sade. He could have brought that up. Right? He could have twisted that like Giselle twisted every interaction she had with him. Vodka said, Candace is still clueless and Robin is going to run her under the bus over and over. Candy just wants to be a part of the Green-Eyed Bandit. I don't think she wants to be a part. I think she honestly thinks that Robin is her friend. And she thought that of Giselle too. I don't know. I just think I don't think she wants to be a part of the Green-Eyed, this clique. I think it's more of, and a lot of the newer girls do this as well. I'm not saying that Candace is new, but she wasn't in OG, right? A lot of housewives who aren't OGs come into the show and they immediately vie for the acceptance of the OGs. For some reason, I don't know if production is telling them to do that, but they all do it. It's the weirdest thing. It is the weirdest thing. I think only one housewife did that and they got her off the show immediately. Who was the one who was not trying to be a part of the cool clique? Her name is escaping me right now, but she came on and she did not butter up to anybody, and she was a one season wonder. Maybe that's why they all do it. Missy said, I think that Candace sees Robin for who she is now because she was tweeting when Robin was on Watch What Happens Live. She absolutely was. Breezy with the Fro said, Juan is fine. Maybe Giselle thinks Juan got him a light skin trophy, so he doesn't want her, but tried Chris and everyone else because surely he'd want a light skinned chick over brown Candace. That's absolutely what happened. Absolutely. I'm telling you, that's how you get, what's her name? Deborah. That's how you get the whole colorism issue in the community. That's how you get a woman like Deborah who's light and has a certain hair texture thinking that every man wants her, even though there's no proof. There's no proof that they want her. There's proof that they don't even see her, that the men are not looking her way. But in her mind, she thinks that because she's light and she has a certain kind of curl texture and she's not fully Negro, that all these men want her. Especially men who are with dark-skinned Black women who who both of their parents and grandparents look like, right? That's the problem in the community. I cannot tell you how many busted light-skinned women are out here in the world, especially in our community, thinking that they are the bee's knees. It's all colorism. All colorism. They out here looking like what was that thing in Tremors? That worm from Trimmers, they out here looking like that, but thinking I can take your man. No, you cannot. Dead or alive, you can't take him from me. Like, girl.
Take your man right out of the box.
What, Mom? Okay. Layla, thank you so much for the super chat. Layla Q said, I believe Karen and Giselle have a quiet agreement. I think so too. I think these two know that they're the show. Let's be honest, right? And I think they have an agreement to, even if they're beefing, to make sure it ends because it's entertainment. I don't think that they're as close as they used to be, but I think they do have an agreement that this is a show and this is what we're going to do. Hey, Mr. Rogers Neighborhood Watch said, as a Somali, I can say that Michael Darby owns 18% of Bancroft Global, which owns private military bases in Somalia. In Somali, they hire their own mercenary armies to terrorize the Somali people. Wow. I am so sorry, Mr. Rogers Neighborhood Watch. That is awful. She about to have a season. She about to have a season. And the minute she said that, production said, oh, word, bet. Giselle, she said that that she showed a lot to production, the show, and production cut up her storyline that way. Miss Brown Sugar said, between Giselle, her care team, they should never been so definitive about what would happen during a pro surgery. It is possible to be released same day in the best case scenario, but not common. Thank you for that tea. Give Me Shelter said, when Giselle and Robin both appeared on Watch What Happens Live, Giselle blamed production. Then the production receipts were coming in fast and furious. Remember, production was getting fan backlash too last year. Absolutely, for protecting her. Miss Brown Sugar said, I did low-key agree with G just once, whether she wasn't sharing or production wasn't including it. Truly Original wasn't doing their job. Oh, they on it now. They are on it now.
I don't like that Katie is begging for her job.
Yeah, she's begging because, it's a good check. But listen, I don't want Andy to respond. I don't want Bravo to respond. Katie's not in a place, in my opinion, to be back on that show right now. She's fresh out of recovery, just had, she's recovering from having a relapse. This show is not a healthy environment for the healthy. Then it's extremely unhealthy for somebody who is not well. So if I were the one making the decisions, I would keep Katie, or keep Katie on my casting board, but I wouldn't revert to her headshot for years. I would need to know that she's been well for a very long time. JP Reddy said, when you dehumanize a person, you can do anything to them. That's what Giselle is doing. I absolutely agree. Robin said, it was sad to see how Giselle treated Wendy. Awful. I honestly think that Giselle knows she's a colorist, but she doesn't care, or she's in denial, and that's even worse, or she knows that the Black community will protect her. You do what you want to who you know you can do that to. Paste URL said Giselle contradicted herself. First, production didn't show her hysterectomy, so it's on production. Second, she doesn't like Wendy. That's why she didn't showcase her hysterectomy. Right? Like, that just blew my mind. The fact that she can come out of talking about something that was like so scary for her and her children to like come out of that in immediately direct hate towards Wendy. What's wrong? What's broken? Hey, Johnny's Acting Channel. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. Hey, V. V said Giselle didn't even follow Soror Girl code in defending our soror when attacked by a non-soror. Even beefing sorors will drop the hatchet to defend the soror. Can she be kicked out? She's been awful. Hey, Deborah. Deborah said, when Giselle told her daughters about her pending surgery, they didn't seem impressed to me. Or they have this thing that their mother has where they're not phased, I guess, on camera, where they hold this front. I feel like that's something that they all do, where they hold this front on camera and then probably have real emotions off camera. But I feel like this is the face that they put on for the show because Giselle's daughters don't react to anything. And I just don't believe that. I do not believe that. The only time they're reacting is when they're dragging their mother. Naya said, preach, Nikki, for dark-skinned women, we have to wait until people get egregious for anyone to see the issue. Absolutely. We got to take the hits and we got to show people, look what they did to me. We got to be all bruised and bloody and beat up for people to be like, oh my goodness, that's wrong. No, I don't want to get stabbed for you to have sympathy for me. See it happening now and help. Thank you, Joe, for the super chat. Joe said, Giselle dismissing me attacking Wendy because she doesn't like Wendy is exactly how a lot of the fan base dismissed Monique attacking Candace because they didn't like Candace. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. Effie said, Wendy deserves so much better and Andy should have said something. I agree. Epitome 16 said, I think Candace finally decided to be quiet after Karen told her she would get iced out because of her mouth on the last reunion. Now people see it wasn't her. Sad. Very sad. Very sad indeed. Makeup Addict said, Giselle and Robin don't like Wendy because Giselle and Robin made up a rumor about Eddie cheating and came after her new body all last season. They can't even make it make sense. Yeah, but they dropped beefs with everybody else from last season. But you're going to keep this one with Wendy going on that you started? Y'all would have never had a beef with Wendy had y'all not started this rumor that not only did her husband cheat on her, he had an outside child. How evil. How evil. Only to be like, oh, it wasn't true. We just heard it from a blog. We don't believe it, but you said it on the show. And you were hanging around her before then. Same thing with Candace. Candace was just like, I have been singing Giselle off and on for the past 6 months. She never said this to me. And then she decided to say it to me on camera. That's my issue with her. And she's right. Hey, Shonda. Drewski said, truly, it does suck that it took Wendy and Candace holding back on their own valid emotions to being antagonized and prodded in order to be seen more humanely, and is a peak example of colorism. Absolutely. Absolutely. ML Russ, thank you for the super chat, said, you are so on point tonight. Gizzy Face told it all. Gizzy Face told it all though out the night, all throughout the night. Poor Wendy, she broke my heart. Absolutely. Thank you, MLS Russ. V said Giselle and Robin should be demoted. Robin may be demoted. I don't think they're touching Giselle. They're not going to touch her or Karen. Absolute joke, Shonda. Shouldn't have had it. Shouldn't have had it. Dahlia said, it's good that Wendy cried in front of the public. Let them see her be vulnerable and show she's human. Done with being strong. Absolutely. I'll show my weakness and make you look like a monster. And that's what they did. That's what they did. That's what they did. Shonda said, please like the video and subscribe to get NikkiStar TV for 16K subscribers. It's early. We can do it. Deborah said, didn't Giselle say on the Sherry Shepherd show they didn't care about SM? What's SM? Single mother? That's why I'll be tagging and tweeting Andy and Bravo all summer long. Oh, Andy on vacation. He's not checking that. Tiara said, of course, the lady said no. Majority of them are the colorists. Absolutely. They did not want to be called out. Drewski said they needed someone like Nina Parker to host this colorism convo, in my opinion. For some reason, I feel like Bravo don't embrace her. And I don't know why. I think Nina is great for that brand. Nikki G said, I'm confused. Why don't y'all believe a dog will continue to demonstrate dog behavior? Clearly, he is super comfortable with the blatant disrespect of his wife and children. Most recent example is this. Oh, Nikki G came to clear. Naya said, well, I do think that some audience members don't like Candace because of her personality. It was intellectually dishonest for Giselle and Ashley to put that above acknowledging the colorism factors. Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. 1,000%. Danny said, Giselle and Wendy are AKAs. Robin is a Delta. That's all I remember. But Candace and Giselle went to HBCUs, I believe. Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. Joe said, the light brights dismissed what Candace said about colorism, but engaged when Karen spoke about it. That's a perfect example of colorism right there. Yep. They got it when Karen said it, but they didn't get it when Candace said it. right there. Thank you so much, Joe, for the super chat. Yes. Emma Russ said, does my memory, some of you found me because of my videos about the colorism on that show. Does my memory serve me correct, or didn't Basketball Wives have an entire separate show regarding colorism? They kept the darkest person in the cast, or they put her on another set because they did not feel safe with her in the room when she has never exuded any kind of aggressive behavior towards them. If she has ever reacted, she has been reacting to the poking and prodding from those ladies, but never has she put her hands on any of them or walked up to them or tried to fight them. And they all set up there, all the light brights set up there and said, we don't feel safe around her. That show, I can't watch it to this day. I don't care what happens with that. Basketball Wives will never get me back. They can never get me back. Momi said, there are sororities that have practiced colorism. Yep. Good and bad hair. See if I care. So it isn't surprising that most of them didn't want to acknowledge that it existed within the group. You're right. You're right. Hey, Ken. Ken said, why would they allow them to vote to have a moderator? Obviously, the light-skinned cast members would vote against it. They're the majority. They're the majority. Nikki B said, and I will give Ashley that. Ashley's explanation for being on Wendy's side was perfect. And did you notice? The Alabaster crew was not happy that she did that. There could be a break in the clique. Naya said, I could only imagine the treatment Giselle displayed to women after her in her sorority while at Hampton. She probably literally pulled out a brown paper bag. Where are the stories? I can't believe nobody has said anything at this point. Hey, nah, Beck said, having a brown-skinned daughter looking at you, Mia, and Gizzard doesn't mean you're not a colorist. You know what? It's so funny because Black people, like if a white person said this, Black people would get it, right? Mia and Giselle, but especially Mia, said, I have a brown-skinned daughter. What the hell does that mean? You just Black-friended your child. That's basically what that is. I have a Black friend. I can't be racist. I have a dark child. I can't be colorist. Get on TikTok. Them dark-skinned kids, they telling all y'all light-skinned parents business about how y'all treated them. Child. Nikki B said that a moderator was needed. They needed an African-American studies professor. Absolutely. 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 My first experience, always an auntie. JP Reddy said, I feel for those girls. Colorism typically happens most in families very early on. Absolutely. And especially for young girls, it normally starts with the don't stay outside too long. You don't want to get dark or darker. That's the one that every dark-skinned girl like we all have that one, and it's always from a hating auntie. It wasn't. It was the bare minimum. It was the bare minimum. Miss Brown Sugar said, I'm already with you. She should have never asked if she thinks anyone on the cast is colorist. It's a trick question, and there is no way she can say yes and have a path forward with them. Absolutely. Drewski said, a lot of people talk about who the smartest green-eyed bandit is. To be quite honest, is Ashley. Absolutely, because she's terrible, but she knows when to pull back and play a little lip service and keep herself in the middle that way. Yep. That's why Giselle and Robin can go, but Ashley will remain because she knows how to play the game. NC said they should have had a moderator. Candy is my fave, but I was disappointed that she said she doesn't think anyone on the cast is colorist. I'm sure the light-skinned girls thought they were off the hook. Well, like, who just said it? Somebody just said, I just read the comment. I apologize. Miss Brown Sugar just said it. She had to say that so that she could have a path forward with them. But we know who the colorist is on this show by watching it. Can you imagine what it's like working with them for 6 months? Child, she needs therapy. She needs therapy. Hey, Blue Jay, you're right on time. You're right on time. Yasmin said the colorism conversation required a moderator, more background on colorism, and examples for every single colorist cast member. Absolutely. Nikki G said, I can't believe you just said you think Robin is smart. Wow, smart where? So I'm going to purposely get fired from my good, easy job because you're around here disrespecting our family. Where's the smart part? Well, it's smart for her partner. She's in love with that man. And I think if your husband, who is a part of your storyline, right, is going to have to be a part of this show, his scandals are going to be brought up. So the smart thing to do is to get yourself removed from the show until his stuff is handled. And you can come back and be like, well, he won, or the case was thrown out. You know what I mean? Instead of having to talk about it on camera and possibly get him fired. FA said the Grand Dame is a colorist. Are we forgetting what she said about Wendy during her first season? I felt like she was being xenophobic, but I think it could also be interpreted as colorist as well. Ken said the pure hate and jealousy that they have for Wendy is disgusting. That's what it is, guys. That's what it is. The Green Eyed Bandits are upset because the undesirables have the life that they were told that they would have. So they look at these women who have they been told are the undesirables, right? And they get with these self-hating Black men who put them on a pedestal and make them feel special because they feel like being with somebody who is light or non-Black or the golden calf herself, a white woman, gives them a sense of power because they feel like they are just one step closer to having a seat at the table with white men who are at the top of the food chain, right? Not all Black men are like that. So when you see undesirables in your mind living this life that was promised to you by the self-hating Black people within the Black community, and you see that happening for someone who you were told is undesirable, envy just overtakes you. And under envy is hate and jealousy and murder, and all of that stuff is under the same umbrella, right? So you're sitting here dealing with all of these things, and maybe you don't realize it, but we see you spewing venom at these women, and we see why you're doing it. But you're trying to gaslight us because you think that we can't see you, but we can see you clear as day. Even the people who are defending you can see you clear as day because you have no beef with these women. You have no beef with these women, but you try your best to tear down and separate them from their loving husbands and create a chaotic environment for them to make them react in a way for you to go, see, look how aggressive she is. She's yelling at me. She's trying to fight me. But now we see, unfortunately, because the undesirables are not reacting in a rightful way, they're acting in a way that will suppress their feelings, but allow everybody else to see what's actually happening to them. So now these broads are spiraling because the jig is up. We all see you now, and there's not much that you can do at this point. There's not much that they can do. Yasmin said, Ashley getting into it with the whole cast has nothing to do with colorism. It's the undertones of those interactions that make her a colorist. I agree. Love Life always says, everyone that benefits from colorism and don't speak up against it is a colorist, period. Tell it. Sierra said, I don't see why they can't start off the new season off the backs of that colorism conversation. All it takes is for Wendy and Candace to call the meeting where they leaned into the issue. Well, because you'll be having it with people who constantly deny it, and it just will not be productive. The funny thing about it is colorism was the first housewife on the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is what the show was based off of. Now, all of a sudden, the show that was based off of colorism all of a sudden doesn't have a colorism problem. That's why you got to watch the show from season 1. That's why you got to watch the show from the beginning. Sade said, I hate the way colorism topic was addressed, but not addressed. It was like, here, damn. When someone gives you something you've been begging for. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Effie said, Andy not condoning Mia's actions towards Wendy sent a clear message. He should have called her out and said that he doesn't condone violence. He definitely dropped the ball. I agree. I thought that he was going to say something, especially since Mia wasn't remorseful. I feel like if it were Candace, though. See? Blue Jay. I don't think Candace wants to be in a cool clique. She crosses me as someone who wants friends, especially since they spend time with each other. Absolutely. AI said Ashley has a hate for Candace that is extremely unhealthy. The jealousy of not having even half of what she has, despite having privilege, must be killing her inside. Oh, it absolutely is eating her up. Thank you for the super chat. Said, hate this season, but love your reviews. Thank you, Effie. Love you too. Yasmin said, after listening to Candace and Robin's interviews, I believe they truly did have a close off-camera relationship. For years, though, Candace has been edited as a lone wolf. True. I do think there was something there. but I feel like at this point, Candace, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. Let me get to I got a few more super chats. Let's get it. You think that part 3 is going to piss us off? I'm just waiting to see what's in both of Jacqueline and Nia's Pandora's boxes. I want to know. Layla Q, thank you for the super chat. Layla said, I don't believe Kara really likes Wendy. She offered no sympathy during or after the fight. She said that Wendy didn't fit the look of the show. Remember? Yeah, but again, I thought it was. You can see it both ways. I felt like because Wendy was coming in like I'm the Nigerian princess, I felt like Karen was just like. And I was actually excited. I was just like, Black people come in different cultures. So that would be, I always love to have like diversity in cultures of the Black women on these shows, but it seems like the Black women on these shows don't want that. So, Trimmers, them light-skinned broads be looking like them worms and Trimmers and being like, it's giving Beyonce. No, it's not. It's giving Tuma. You're not cute. But because they're light. Tiffany, thank you for the super chat. Tiffany said, like the video, fam. Love you, Nikki. Love you too. Dr. Rim said, discussing this could have been a great thing. Giselle could have been doing a lot of five-word promotion and brought together health professionals to do a countrywide tour on this. I don't know. I mean, Giselle, your redemption storyline was right there, and you decided to make Chris a predator. What's not clicking? So sad. Bombshell Blurb said, Nikki, after your part 1 recap, I went and checked the rhinestones on the last lady's cankles dress, and they definitely didn't match. Oh, they were all over the place. They weren't. It looked like she did that. They weren't even. Child, why? And I love a bedazzle. I love a hello. Dahlia said, I'll never get over how they treated OG. Evelyn Dezada is the most violent woman on reality TV, but OG gotta go. Okay, girl. You know what sits in my soul? When OG when Evelyn tried to make it seem like OG was lying about Chad, and OG was getting the best of Evelyn, and Evelyn was just like, ugly. And the way she said ugly, it was a hard R for me because I knew what was in that ugly. But I'm so happy for OG, right? Because right after that, Ocho Cinco won.
Right after that, another girlfriend and everything. Honey.
Yes,
I loved it.
Right after that, Ocho Cinco wanted me, and she gave us that iconic moment. But we all knew what was in that ugly. Drewski said, Basketball Wives doing that to OG when violent thug Evelyn beat up multiple people and threw things at people was fine with them. Unserious. Absolutely. Absolutely.
They didn't bring her back.
No.
They didn't bring her back this year.
Well, good for her. Ain't nobody watching that show. Dahlia said, I guarantee you Ashley doesn't care if the Alabaster crew don't like her. She doesn't care about anybody on the set but herself. She's been for herself since season 1. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like Ebony K. I don't think she would have been a good moderator for this. Here's why. If the person is not dark, they cannot lead the colorism conversation. Now, are there light-skinned people who get it? Absolutely. They're in the chat. Hey, Ken. Hey, Joe. However, the one who needs to lead the conversation needs to be dark-skinned. Here is why. Because that person is going to represent how the conversation should happen. So when you have a dark-skinned person who is a moderator talking about colorism, as you have that conversation, it is starting to be embedded in you that when this topic comes up, this is who you need to look for, right? I was just not too long ago, I went to a viewing. Was it a viewing? A panel about colorism. And Bill Duke and everybody was there. In the industry. Colorism in the industry. And we were talking about dark girls. I was in it. Go check it out. I, had much better metabolism then. And my cheekbones were more visible. Ooh, baby Nikki. But I was there, and one of the moderators said, and she was like, I feel like I can say this because we're family. Light-skinned people, this is where you listen. We are going to let dark-skinned Black people speak. And she set the tone immediately. Set the tone immediately. So that is why I believe the moderator needs to be a dark-skinned woman. And I'm talking about a sister. Like I said, a dark-skinned person who, their parents and both of their grandparents and both of their great-grandparents on both sides of the family, Black. That's what we need. Because that'll be embedded in you that when this conversation comes up, this is who I need to refer to. This is the person that is important in this conversation. Here is where I listen and learn. Let me get a couple more, then get out of here. Tracy says, Star Family, please like the video. It helps the channel grow. We're looking to get to 175K by the end of the year. It's early. We can do it. I know that's right, Tracy. Coco T said it should be on Candace or Wendy to moderate or hold them to the fire. Mom, can you turn down the heat? Okay. Girl, you got it on 95. My hair is rising. In order for it to make a difference, it has to come from someone in a position of power. And honestly, Andy took a cop out. He should have brought in a moderator. You can bring in Nicki Minaj, but you can't bring in the Gal Van Sant or somebody to talk about this. Rosalind. But, she was good for views. I'm confused. The Alabasters feel higher than beautiful caramel and chocolate beauties. But don't their men cheat on them? It's funny to see how they glaze over the infidelity when it's them. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. The undesirables, right? And the desirables are kept apart because the men who choose them specifically based on how they look. Right. And I'm not just saying attractiveness or anything like that. I'm saying men who are choosing women, Black men who are choosing women who are light or white adjacent, right, or non-Black adjacent, who are choosing them for that, are solely choosing them for a reason. And that reason is proximity to whiteness or one step closer to having a seat at the table with white men. It's always about white men. So that's why I'm always like, when white women, not all, but the ones that I'm talking about that are just like, Black men love me, the ones who are just like extra, hold on to their Black man extra hard when they walk by a Black woman, or who sits there and opens up their mind, body, and soul to the verbal vomit of a self-hating Black man about Black women or just Black people in general and digest that. Those white women, the gag is, he don't want you either. He wants your father. He wants your brother. And I'm not saying in a sexual way. I'm saying he wants their power and their access. You are a means to an end. You're not important and you're not special. He's using you to get in those doors. That's why when he finally gets in the door, he upgrades to a better model. It's probably whiter, younger, and skinnier, something that the white men that he wants to sit at the table with look at as a kind of trophy. And you sitting over there mad with Jaden and Kaylin, you know what I mean? Not knowing how to do their hair, angry as hell because you don't have no black girlfriends because he has isolated you from the woman that's going to help you raise them kids properly, right? Because you're a means to an end. That's it. You're not special. That's what he tells you so that you can do what he needs you to do. And that is to get him in them doors that you want to get in. That's why you chose him. Because you can't get with the white men because they see you. They know that you want to be at the table as well, but you'll never sit at that table, right? So you choose a black man that has the same kind of view and the same kind of goal. The reason why y'all both don't like black women is because black women don't want to sit at that table. We want to dismantle it. So y'all make us the enemy, us the problem, because you don't want freedom. You want to replace the oppressor. That's why they all get together. And it's not just white women, it's black women who get this, light-skinned black women and non-black women who get, or non-black and non-white women who get with those kind of men. That's what they want, right? So you listen to all of that foolishness. And then when he treats you in a way that he says that he's only going to treat an undesirable, you're sitting there shocked and looking stupid. Why? Why is this happening? I can't believe, not me. I got 3B curls. I got blonde edges. My eyes is green. One eye is hazel, but this eye is green. I can't believe this is happening to me. He lied to you, sweetie. The devil is a liar. And he'll tell you whatever you want to hear so he can get whatever it is that he needs from you. You are not special. You're a means to an end. Wake up. Wake up. Zaburia said it's the subtle things like Ashley calling Wendy ferocious. Come on. But Robin goes around confronting everyone. And always going up to somebody like she gonna beat them up. Even Andy was just like, if you would have done that here in front of me, I would have gotten up to stop you. Oh, I wasn't gonna do nothing to add to Wendy. How are we supposed to know that? How are we supposed to know that? Miss Brown Sugar said, it's the poison pill of white supremacy that we've all been exposed to. We say it every time, but it's hard for people to let go of privilege that have been granted so long they believe that they are entitled to. Absolutely. Miss Brown Sugar said, absolutely, Nikki. Very much rooted in old school establishment blacks that attend power access based on proximity of whiteness. Absolutely. Mr. Rogers Neighborhood Watch said the Green-Eyed Bandits need to understand that Candace and Wendy made better choices and hence they have better lives. Jealousy is a disease. Get well soon. Get well soon. V says, yep, colorism since season 1. They were hating against Katie, who embraced her biracialness, and Robin and Giselle picked an issue with her, and she challenged their ethnic makeup. Remember they got mad at Katie for wearing an afro? Dragged her on the early days of Instagram? And they were just like, now she's black. And Katie was like, yeah, like this is my natural hair. Like, what are you doing? Blue Jay said, in what way do you think that Potomac can shake it up? Who should be dropped, added, or made a friend of the show? Robin should be dropped. I don't think she should be removed. Here is why. She's not going to talk about the situation happening with Juan. But if it's going to be a Karen versus Robin season, then Robin needs to be on there because Karen on her YouTube said that she's locked and loaded and coming for her. Giselle would absolutely need to be dropped down in front of the show, but it will not happen because of her seniority. Mia just needs to be removed. Here is why. Mia's a liar, and she's not a fun liar, right?
Girl, I think that
she's going to expose her
because Mia, that I want the friend of the show. Because she done pissed her off. I want to hear from her.
Yeah, but I just want Mia gone. She's a liar, and she's not a liar in a fun way, right? I think she brings the show down. Her violence escalates every season.
The show down.
I don't think she's Potomac. True. I don't think she's Potomac. I don't think she's Potomac.
No, she's not.
She's not. Breezy with the fro said, when displaying violence, Mia got nothing. Teresa got nothing. New York white lady got nothing. Rena got nothing. Robin got nothing. But Monique got fired and Portia got anger management and demoted. I will say this. Monique said she didn't renew her contract. I kind of believe that.
Me too.
Here is why. She ate at that reunion. Monique ate at that reunion. I thought that she was not coming back because she put hands on Candace. When I saw her work at the reunion, I said, there's no way they're cutting her. So I absolutely believe that she did not renew her contract. I believe it.
Yeah, it was
I believe
for
it.
her.
They would have brought her back though, but there would have been penalties. She probably would have been dropped down a friend of, but she probably would have had to, in the beginning of the season, make amends with Candace and really be on, I was wrong, and probably have to grovel for a bit. And I don't think that she would have done that, but she was going to come back. She was going to come back.
I think she didn't renew because it was too much for her and her family. Like this show had become a part of her family, and she's trying to navigate this man that's now home that she was not anticipating or expecting.
A lot of life changes.
Yeah,
a lot of life changes.
And then
but
kids,
they absolutely would have brought her back. NC said, how does the show truly move forward? The cast is so divided and disconnected. Jiz, Mia, Robin, and Ashley take no accountability. Nothing to look forward to next season unless they make some major changes. Here is how they move forward. Hold their contracts and cut their checks in half.
That's what I want to say.
They are going to, hold on, Mom. They are going to get in line when the money is affected and them possibly not coming back is affected. That's what it is. I think, unfortunately, for a lot of these housewives, they have gotten to the point where they think that they can make or break a show. And it's just like, good casting can make or break a show. It's foolish for anyone in TV or in film to think that they are not replaceable. This is the worst thing about Hollywood, but it is the truest thing. Everyone is replaceable.
I feel like they had a better show when they were just showcasing what they did. Before they brought this violence in and started attacking one another, they were, Potomac was set aside. Potomac was an upscale housewives show. And when the fighting started,
it changed. It changed the show.
When Monique didn't come back, they were going to go back up. But they thought that was how to bring in viewers, and they totally lost their shine or their
after the fight. The show changed. Yeah, the show changed.
They lost their upscaleness, if you will. After they,
Monique was running around that bar and talking about where is she? I'm going to kill her. Having producers hold her back.
No, I'm even saying, even after that, after Monique left, they had an opportunity
to recover,
to gather the show, to recover,
and they didn't. Yeah,
and they didn't. They just went down. Also, I happen to know someone that works on some of these shows. And what they can do is try to bring some positiveness.
Okay.
If they want to save the show.
Okay.
They can
we're going to stop you before you get in trouble. JP Reddy said Evelyn Tamor and Nivea are on a dating show hosted by Holly Robinson Pete. I think it's on Peacock. Yes, it is, and I'm absolutely reviewing that. I can't wait. Mela said, it seems like DC is where all the passing people went. I'm from the South, but the colorism looks worse up there. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Joe said, hey, and you're right. Light-skinned people should not be leading convos about colorism, just like white people shouldn't be leading convos on racism. People got to learn when to listen and learn. Absolutely. Crystal said, Mia needs to go. She just trashes the show up, in my opinion. Is it really a marriage, ma'am? If your husband is screwing everyone else, including your friend, I was completely done at effing for lobster. Oh, she tried to throw that in that Wendy was sleeping with Peter. I'm like, the people who don't even like Wendy didn't believe that. Tracy said, shout out to the NikkiStar replay gang. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share the channel to your social media.
Bingo.
Thank you.
No, Mia said that I have to keep on doing the things that I did.
Yeah.
To get my husband.
She's a good, but this is the thing. I don't think that Mia is Potomac, but I love the fact that she's a good time girl and she owns it.
Yeah.
She owns it.
Yeah.
She owns it. Yeah. Blue Jay said, it always seems like when you center a toxic man, you will always fail. Come on. And you will always have to jump through hoops like that yellow bone is what he want, girl. I'm telling you, I forget what her name is, when she made that song to go to like try to diss the baby's first baby mom, it was like she woke up the ancestors. It was like she challenged the ancestors. Right after that song, homegirl just could not catch a break. Child, you will never win with a colorism king. You will never win. You will have a worse life than the undesirable life that he lied to you about. You will be worse off, girl. It's something about the Jaded and the Jalen. Yes, Jaded. Jaded, absolutely. Oh my God. Naya said the church would be serving refreshments after this. Thank you all for understanding what I'm saying, because this is the thing. Like, none of this is planned. So I'm trying to thank you for getting it. Thank you for picking up what I was putting down. KV said, when Wendy cried and said, it's not fair, I felt so bad and I wanted to give her a hug. Yep, because that was from her soul, because she was trying to hold it together. She was trying to hold it together. Is it recent? Is it a recent response? Or if it's the old one, we saw it. Yes. Remember, the early seasons of Potomac, that was a huge issue. That's why Robin and Katie got into it, because Katie was like, you're a white woman. She was like, you shouldn't even be speaking on this topic. You're a white woman, Robin. And that made Robin go and get, because Robin was trying to do like, I'm blacker than you thing. And Katie was like, you're a white woman. Oh, I want her on the show, but she has to be healthy. Anyway, so that forced Robin to do a 23andMe, and that's what she found out. She was like 60% white. That's why she can jump into a Karen so easily. Lady Virgo said, we got to remember this show was supposed to be about Jack and Jill. Yep. So there was already a certain look they were going for. I did a colorism panel with Brooke Ashley, and it was on Make It Make Sense channel, and Layla Lynn. And Brooke was the one who actually brought that up, that this show was not supposed to be a housewife show. It was actually just supposed to be about these ladies in the Jack and Jill community, and colorism was like the main theme of the show. It was the main theme of the show. Oh, she loves it. If you can see it, she's on the couch, just waiting to chime in. Mary said, put her feet up. Mary said, I ain't like Mia since she tried her mom in recovery. Terrible. I would never do that to my mommy. And if I was that unhealed, she wouldn't be on TV, period. It does, Mia, this probably wasn't your intention, but it does feel like you brought your mom on the show to embarrass you because of the trauma you received from her as a child with her being an addict. It just seemed like you constantly brought that woman on to shame her. And it wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look.
Let me tell you, that was pain. Mia has to get help for her childhood trauma.
Yeah, she does. She's hurt from that.
Help because she lashes out at everybody because of it. And she got with this man who loved her for what she brings to the table. And that's a good time.
Okay. I didn't know what you was going to say.
I was cultivating my words.
Thank you.
A good time. And so she had some kids with him. So she said these kids, I don't know. But she had some kids with him to secure her back to me.
Yeah.
And still acts like the lady of the evening with him. So she has a lot of resentment. Plus, her mother and her sister has this relationship that she never had. Her mother gave her away or something. Whatever is going on internally, she needs to
heal. And that's why I don't think she needs to be on the show. Like Katie, she got to heal. Because you're attacking every and anybody on the show about what happened to you as a kid. And it's like, girl, get some help. Because as an adult, nobody's going to be here for that.
Yeah. But as her mother, I wouldn't have went on that show.
Oh, she would have got one time to do that to me. The mother kept on coming on the show, and every time she came on the show, me, it's like, here's my crackhead mother who abandoned me and sold me for crack. And like every time that woman came on to the camera, I was like, oh, absolutely not. Absolutely. Listen, she would have got one time. One time. I would be like, oh, never again. Never again. No, the first time I would have been caught off guard.
No.
Because I don't think Mia told her mom, yeah, I'm going to have you on the show and shame you for being an addict.
Down that episode, it wouldn't have came on. Y'all wouldn't have seen it. But the way I would have saw her up and the set, they would say, you know what?
Yeah, no, that we haven't seen that lady since, and good for her. Simply Simone said, that's actually a good idea. Give them a Beverly Hills pause to set them in line. They probably will do that. They probably will give them a pause and either remove Robin, add somebody else, have them screen test to see how they all gel, and then come back later than we expect them to. We got a super chat from Carmen. Carmen Sandy. There you go. Thank you for the super chat. Said, are you able to get inside info for season 8 salaries? I'm gonna try, but I just feel like I can't exhaust my insiders because it's starting to get a little tricky to get some tea. I'm gonna try, Carmen, just for you. You know what? I have to watch that. The only one that I watched recently was his Potomac review, and baby, they got on his nerves. He broke that. Carlos King, he broke down crying about the colorism conversation. He was just like, he said, I'm living. He is sick of the Potomac girl.
Did he cry about that, or did he cry about it?
Huh? See, this is why you're banned. This is why you're banned. Yep. See, repent. Missy said, I have to watch that. The OG and Carlos King interview was good. I'll go back and watch that. Shonda said, thanks everyone for joining at NikkiStar Live. Please like and subscribe for more great content.
Thank you, my love.
I cannot believe I've been on here this long with you all. Every time we talk about colorism, we be on here for 4 hours.
No, not even colorism. Every time we get in here, because you
it's
are
always Potomac. Thank you, So Steph, for the super chat. So Steph said, love your commentary regarding colorism. Thank you. Unfortunately, I just, it's my life. It's my life. Simply Simone said,
are winners.
Thank you, Mom. Simply Simone said, now all that girl is doing is posting mommy blogs with a baby. What happened to her music? Child.
Who?
The baby. Danny Lee.
Yeah, she's doing what?
Mommy blogs with the baby.
Yeah, well, you gotta go in another direction with
I'd rather her do that than be embarrassed on that man's live.
The baby and the baby look so cute.
So cute. The baby look just like him.
Don't.
Just like him. That is the baby's baby. Destiny said Katie clocked the tea from the very beginning. She clocked all of them. Give Me Shelter. Thank you for the super chat. Give Me Shelter said, I say NikkiStar to host all reunions going forward. Ciao. Ciao. Y'all have to go back and watch the older season. Yes, the way she said it. We get it, Robin. You're biracial. She was sick of Robin. Katie got them all together.
Biracial. Her parents are light-skinned.
Technically. She's technically. Well, she's technically white. If you want to keep it real. Oh my goodness.
Not biracial. Her people might be white in her lane, but them two parents are.
Yeah, they're both light. Lisa Parker said, "Oh dang, I didn't realize the show was supposed to be about Jack and Jill. That makes so much sense. That's what it's that's what it was supposed to be."
What is Jack and Jill again?
You know, the paper bag test blacks, like affluent blacks. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to Howard.
And I liked that.
Because you bougie.
No, I liked
But unfortunately, we didn't have the coin. But you, Mom, you would have been a Jack and Jill black. You would have done it. You would have had us and all of that stuff. You would have done it. I can see it on you. But thank God. Thank God for the ghetto.
It's still rude. It's still time.
Shadize says, speaking as a fellow Somali has the largest coastline in Africa. If Gollum is the largest owner, that's sad because he took advantage of the war and Somalis today are fighting for their land. Yeah.
All they need to do.
We're working on her. We're working on her. Dear Diary said, this is all sad. I'm from Maryland and this show is ridiculous. Shaking my head. They can't even admit the show is based in Maryland. The way Michael played in Ashley's face. Wow. So Steph said, I'm a Jack and Jill kid. So when I found out the original premise, everything fell into place for me. Yep.
So Steph, we Jack and Jill.
So Steph.
Oh, so Steph.
Okay.
We Jack and Jill. Oh, so Steph is Jermaine.
Yes, Mom. Lady Virgo says, so Steph, really? Wow. See, I'm not familiar with the organization, so I was quite shocked when I heard that. Yeah, basically. Yep. A lot of classism and colorism. Legacy families, the black elite. Yep. TT said, you saw how production was shady when Wendy said that Mia gets down for lobster and the camera called to me. This production is a messy. All right, guys, let me get 3 more and then we'll get out of here. Yasmin said, I appreciate Jack and Jill for the opportunities it provided for me, but I can say some of the treatment I saw of others was less than desirable. True. Because, I do know people who went through it as well, and it did give them great opportunities, but they all say the same thing. It's just like, a lot of self-hate. Got to work through that. Naya said, oop, I literally went to Howard. I wanted to go to Howard, so. I would have ate at Howard, but, had to go to a local school, but I still had a good time. Love my school, but those Jack and Jill blacks were a mess. Yes. We're going to end here. Tracy said, shout out to the NikkiStar replay gang. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share the channel to your social media. Replay gang, give me a minute. I got to watch this live. Ciao. This is why I try not to be all here long because I have to watch this back and put in timestamps. But give me a minute so I can put in timestamps so that when you come to watch it later, you can just click on where the review starts and where the discussion starts. But thank you all for joining me. It's been real. Tomorrow, and I can say this because I do have the time. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiance. I'm going to save The Bachelor for Wednesday because I want to couple that with the Real Housewives of New Jersey because I don't think my Real Housewives of New Jersey and Bachelor audience are that big yet that they, can get a separate live.
And The Bachelor is boring.
They should have picked who I told them to pick. Anyway, so Wednesday, that will be a joint one. And I'm finally caught up on Married at First Sight, and baby, I'm angry. So we'll talk about all of that this week.
Oh, Love at First Sight, I'll be here.
Married at First Sight.
Oh.
You talk about Love at the Lockup. She'll be here for Love at the Lockup.
And Married at First Sight. I like that.
You do? Okay. So we'll talk about that too. So my mom will be in the background screaming at that one as well. So look out for that. Again, because of my schedule, I can't put a time up early. So I'll probably do it the day of. So hit that notification bell. Check my channel to see when I post. Follow me on Instagram at NikkiNicoleStar because I post reminders there. As well. Also, let me check my Cash App. I was told I got a Cash App. I was told I got a Cash App.
TikTok? Are you announcing on TikTok?
You know what? TikTok don't know that I do reviews over there yet. I don't know that audience yet to know if I want to do that. I don't know. I gotta look a bit more to see if I want to do that because we have cultivated an audience here at NikkiStar TV I don't know TikTok just yet, so we'll see. But thank you, Missy, for the cash app. Thank you, Missy said, for another great live and extra commentary from Mama. Thank you, Missy.
Love you,
Thank
Missy.
you so much. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow sometime, but it will definitely be Pacific Standard Time. Love y'all. Bye. Mwah. Oh my gosh. Every time we